So let's talk about some DAO problems now. And like this is an evolving space, so it's okay for there to be problems. We're working through them and people are innovating to, solve them. I've seen you talk about three: discovery, onboarding, and compensation. Can you walk me through some of these problems, how you're thinking about them?
Yeah, so discovery is there's so many Discord servers out there. How do you find something that I'm actually interested in? I mean, honestly speaking, the best tool to solve this problem right now is just like Twitter, right? You just follow people and like you find these DAOs. But there's probably a
Yeah.
product out there that's like a DAO directory or something where not only it shows all the DAOs, but it shows like what kind of activity is going on and like what kind of people are involved and if you're interested. And then once you discover a DAO that you're interested in, the onboarding is like a massive problem for DAOs um, because it's very hard to go from like entering a Discord server to actually figuring out where you can get value or add value. So we need like products to like right now people just use like a Google form or something, right? It's like, hey, which part of the DAO you want to contribute to, what are your talents, blah blah blah. But there must be a better product out there where maybe you can carry over some credentials from other DAOs. You can like list your interests and your talents and like just get onboarded without having to like manage a bunch of Discord servers. Um, and what was the last one that I mentioned? I think it's compensation, right? So
Compensation,
yeah,
yep.
so there's some like very near-term problems where like, if I want to pay 30 contributors, I should be able to bulk pay them and not have to wait till midnight for the gas prices to become low. Um, there's some tools out there that already solve these problems. There's some broader problems where like a lot of DAOs use like bounty boards where like let's say I have a bounty where you write a blog post and I'll give you zero point 0.1 ETH, right? Uh, but what I guess what end up happening is like 10 people will do this ticket and like 9 times out of 10 it'll be like a crappy blog post and I actually don't want to give you any ETH for writing a crappy blog post. So like how do you make the compensation transparent but also make sure that people are not wasting their time doing work that would not be accepted? Like that's like a pretty hard problem to solve. um, so yeah, there's like a lot
Yeah.
of problems there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that compensation one that you just mentioned sounds super tricky. It's just like in Web 2 or in a traditional company, that filter is you hired someone. So you did the pre-screening already. You trust what they can do, and then you have checks and balances within the company, but now in a distributed way, it's how do you provide those checks and balances? Because I could totally see a world where most of the responses are not the ones that you actually want to use. And then that's a lot of wasted
Yeah.
energy and could also potentially lead to just people not wanting to contribute again in the future, which discouragement is definitely not the goal of any DAO that's trying to build, from the ground up grassroots
Mhm.
style. I also wanted to make a comment on the discovery topic and this is something I've talked to the CEO of Unstoppable, Matt Gould, about and it's kind of like just a future state that I think I see this going is okay. So you want to discover DAOs. We also want to discover NFTs, and I think part of that is using the data that you carry to contribute to like recommendation algorithms that we're so used to today in Web 2. But we don't just want everybody to be able to see all the transactions we do. And so right now, a lot of times we connect to wallets with our
Mhm.
website. And a better way, or we, I just flip that around. We connect to websites with our wallet. Um, and that's how we have some access. But instead, if we could log in with your NFT domain,
Mhm.
and as an NFT domain owner, I can then permission certain data points that I've connected to like my profile and my identity. I could allow a website to access my NFT collection. I could permission adapt to see my transaction history or to see my interests that I've tied to my domain, like through some off chain data
Mhm.
connections. And that can give marketplaces, it could give dApps like information on what to serve up to me for like potential
Mhm.
interests. So That's kind of a place that I see discovery going in the future is how do we as individuals who have digital identities permission decentralized applications to access pieces of data that we give them. Then the decentralized app can take that data and help with that discovery journey. Because right now, when you connect to a DApp with your wallet, you're giving it pretty basic functionality, but it's really not taking any it's not taking your data into account. It's just really creating a connection point to do some kind of transaction.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, data is all public on the blockchain, right? But like that's what Web3 is all about. So yeah, being able to parse that data and like personalize the experience using that data will be really valuable.
You're listening to the Unstoppable Podcast, the go-to place for everyone to learn about the latest innovations in Web3, NFTs, and the decentralized web. Welcome to the metaverse.